Hey there, everybody. So, I woke up, it's late at night. I don't feel like filming anything, so I'm just doing a chat this time. So, I wanted to talk about two things actually. Um, the first thing I wanted to talk about, which I think is a lot more, emotionally important to me, is, the work of Daniel Paul Schreber, who is relevant for my next video. So, just to let you guys know, I'm writing a really important an excellent script for my main channel that is about the political emancipation of the schizophrenic, right? And Schreber is really interesting because I think a lot of people forget that the book what is it, Memoir of My Nervous Illness, is him trying to make an argument that he's experiencing all these things, and this whole ontology of like angel, or not angels, but lost souls and rays and all nerves and all that shit. And he's building all of this to demonstrate specifically the argument that he believes that he's somebody who is afflicted with a weird illness of some kind that is not like a mental illness. He doesn't think he's a madman, but he thinks he's different. He thinks he's like an educated individual who's suffering from a very weird illness that causes him to have these painful miracles, basically, right? And it's okay. I'm just gonna say, first off, when I'm reading his work, like, it's very emotional for me because a lot of the things that he says that he's experiencing are very similar to things that I've experienced, right? And I think that these experiences are just, there's a subset of, psychotic, schizophrenic people who experience things like these kind of like intense religious experiences. And, it's really upsetting, because these experiences are highly disruptive. It's not comfortable. It's not pleasant in any capacity. For me, like, what I would experience is that I would experience these, like, I can only describe them like visions. And it's not like I was like understanding something that I could comprehend or like express to other people. Oftentimes it would feel like some sort of intense, like, reality being exposed to me in some way that I can't understand. And then like a few days later, something would happen in such a way where it kind of resolved it. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But it felt kind of like some kind of like intense cosmic, relation. And I would imagine, living over 100 years ago and having a completely different set of social just constructs to be able to deal with these kinds of experiences that are literally impossible to put into words. It's just difficult, when you realize, I probably experienced a lot of the things that he's experiencing. Like, they're very real things that you experience. It's just like, how do you explain what it is? Like, all of this composition that he creates is not just a matter of like, oh, this sort of psychoanalytic bibble babble that can be, torn apart in like a little debugging session and trying to understand every little line of code or whatever. There's something more to it, right? That's really hard to explain. And it's like, if you've experienced these things before, it's like you read his memoir and it's just very deeply emotional because it's a guy who's experiencing things that you've experienced, basically trying to explain like why he's experiencing these things, and also saying, why should I be free? Why should I be able to go home? And when you read what the psychiatrist has to say in response, it's so pathetic. Like, it's all about how his wife will be disappointed and uncomfortable with his, like, his behavior. Specifically, he bellows at night. It's kind of funny, actually. Like, he does these bellows at night where he's like being kind of like possessed or something by God to do these like religious divine behaviors, which are kind of obnoxious to other people. And I feel bad for him because, he writes an entire essay about why people who have severe mental illness should not be involuntarily committed. And, you know, these people aren't hurting anybody. These people aren't, you know, worsening society. So, you know, why do they have to be thrown in jail? And he wrote this over 100 years ago. And it's very emotional when you read it, but it's also like very empowering. And it always makes me really sad when people don't talk about Schreber from like a political point of view, because it's like they're missing this whole dimension of him. Like, put yourself in his shoes, right? You know, you're this trained intellectual who has, you know, worked very hard at his career, and then you start experiencing these weird things that you have no explanation for, and you get thrown in a mental hospital involuntarily for years and years, and you just want to go home. Like, yeah, like, people don't think about it that way. They do all this other shit. They analyze it. They don't think about it from like the raw point of view. And, you know, and then it's like, oh, wow, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense, you know? So, now the other thing I want to talk about is, well, the thing on everybody's mind, I think, Charlie Kirk. Oh my God, crazy week. So for those who have been living under a rock, what has happened is that there's this political propagandist who was very popular with right-wing conservatives. He's kind of a Christian nationalist type. And he was like very integrated in a Turning Point USA. He had a lot of mysterious funding. These people always seem to have so much money, and they don't seem to work. Like, what does Charlie Kirk do other than be a political propagandist? It's weird. It's almost as if he's getting paid a lot of money from somebody. I don't know. Anyways, he was shot, and damn, the guy who shot him got him good. It was fucking crazy. Like I saw the footage. I was like, holy shit! There's no way anybody would have survived that. Like, Jesus, he got him. This wasn't like the stupid Donald Trump assassination where the guy was a total amateur. This was like, oh my God. Right? So he dies. And, you know, all my friends, all my gay and trans friends, we're all like in disbelief. We're laughing because we're like, Jesus, you know, holy shit, the guy's fucking dead. Right? And you got to remember, this guy's been targeting trans people aggressively. When he got shot, he was literally lying to he was trying to lie to the audience about how many trans mass shooters there's been in the last 10 years. And it was really funny because somebody's like, 5. And then he's like, how many mass shootings have there been? And then that's basically when he got shot. Just fucking hilarious timing, right? Anyways, so after we kind of get through the initial emotional, like, just shock of the situation, where all of us trans people are just like, oh, great, now we're fucked, right? Like, because this is going to be like our own little crystal knocked, you know, based on who is the shooter. So we're all nervous as shit. We're like, oh my God, please don't. And the right was like starting to pump up, like, yeah, we're going to use this to go after all the DEI shit. We're going to take away everything, right? And then the FBI, who, by the way, if you have not read the FBI's statements on this shit, like, if you want to know just how delusional our current administration is, just read the FBI statements on this Charlie Kirk thing. It is absolutely fucking insane. These people are completely crazy. Like, they're acting like this guy is Jesus practically. It's like, Jesus would have pissed on Charlie Kirk's grave. Are you kidding me? And he would have enjoyed doing it too. But it's just like, oh my God. Like, but yeah, the FBI releases the suspect. And we're all just kind of like, what? He's some white guy? Is he like a theater kid? Is that what's going on? Because we all thought, like, we're fucked. This is some crazy leftist, right, that's going after this guy. And that's not what happened. It was some fucking white guy. He just looks like some guy you'd see at Walmart. So we were like, huh? And more starts coming out, and they were trying to frame the bullet casings as being anti-fascist, but like all of my friends were like, there's no way anybody would make this. Not even the cringiest anarchist would ever write that on a bullet. Right? Now, I'm not a gamer, but I found out that apparently the take this like fascist bullet is from Helldivers 2, which is so funny because me, as somebody who did literally no research, was able to find that out in less than 24 hours than people who are literally paid to do the research. I wonder why that is. There's a lot of money going around in these things, huh? Very interesting. Anyways, so he's posting memes like the ooh, what's this, like they were trying to obviously frame this guy as like a trans furry, but there's no way this person is a trans furry, like none. Like every trans and every furry person is just like this. Nobody has acted like this in 10 years. like with the furry thing, I remember when people did the ooh bulge, what's this, and even at the time, most furries were, when they first started taking off, most furries were just like, that's fucking annoying, please stop, right? And we'd make fun of them for a little bit, and then like I never heard it for like probably like 5 years outside of like rightoids, like Nick Fuentes fans, the Griper Army. It's probably the only time I've ever heard it from spoken in the last 5 years. They're still telling themselves, and it's so funny. So then the Utah governor is like basically upset that it's one of us. And I was like, excuse me, sir. You know what you wanted to happen. You were so. I saw how big your boners got when Charlie Kirk died. Like, you were like, oh right, this is it. This is when we get to kill all the trannies. Then it turned out it was one of your dudes. Funniest fucking shit. And the more that I find out about the shooter, and mind you, the shooter's not cooperating at all, which is very predictable. But based on what I know about him, but this guy seems like the biggest loser. Like, he's not even like. He based on like how me and my friends have been trying to profile him for like the last few days, and like we're convinced that what this guy really is he's just a loser. Like, he's the biggest he's literally a gamer type that probably went on forums and complained about not having a girlfriend, and the kind that thinks that irony is so funny and he's always ironically being racist. You know the type. Like, I'm just gonna say this, conservatives. I'm just gonna have some real one-on-one with you guys. I know probably nobody watching this is a conservative, but I'm just saying this, right? When you stopped telling these gamers to find a fucking job, that's when you lost the narrative. Why did you let these gamer bros on your side? These volatile, stupid, idiot assholes who nobody likes. Like, you don't like these people in person. Like you Christian nationalists, you want clean. You don't want this clean white race, right? This, it's to me, it's creepy and disturbing, but you want this like mass production of this beautiful white race in your eyes, right? So why the fuck are you letting these gamer bros in your circle? These fucking like disgusting, unlikable, unsociable losers that are literally parasites on society. Like, the joke has always been that, their mom is going around and cooking for them all the time because they're too lazy to grow up because they're in their 20s or even 30s and they can't be bothered to grow up. Like, why did you let these guys in? Like, seriously, if I was conservative, I'd say that shit. I'd be like, get a fucking job, dude. What do you do to help your community? I go around and I haul lumber or some fucking manly shit. What do you do? Oh, you play video games all day? Get a job, punk. You know, like, when did you guys stop doing that? Was that when F-150s started getting big booty? Huh? Yeah, I know what this is all about. Anyways, long story short, this guy is this is absolutely just hilarious to me. Like, this guy is absolutely just trolling. Like, the labeled casings, he's obviously trying to parody and satirize Luigi's, shooting last year. But instead of having words that are, relevant to a particular political machine, he's just doing it to piss everyone off. I mean, it makes sense now why he targeted Charlie Kirk, because what would piss people off more than that? Like, at first I thought, well, okay, maybe this guy just really doesn't like this dude. But I don't even think it's infighting anymore. I think this guy was just trolling. I genuinely think this guy was just trolling. And that's why he's not saying anything, which is pretty fucking funny. And I think the funniest part, and I gotta admit, this is a really good troll, because right now the entire conservative party is running around with like chickens with their heads cut off, because they expose their libidinal desire to kill all of us, right? And they were ready to frame all of us as like fucking freaks and pedophiles and all this shit, which they've been trying to do for months, through all this like roundabout legislature saying, oh, well, we got to protect the families and all that propaganda and shit. And they thought they could put their dick out, and they ended up sticking their dick in the shredder, and they're just trying to pull it out desperately right now while they're screaming on the top of their lungs. It's fucking funny as fuck to watch. So, yeah. And don't believe the media. Just Christ alive, don't believe the fucking media. Oh my God. And I have one last message to say to people, and this is based on some things that I encountered in another Discord server. I know some people get really mad when I bitch about like people's behaviors in other Discord server. I don't give a fucking shit how rude it is. Like, I have opinions on how people act, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to try to bring names into it, but I'm going to fucking talk about it, because you can't just act like a fucking piece of shit and expect me to just be quiet about it, okay? But, like, I'm just going to give a pro tip to trans people outside of the United States. I'm so fucking sick and tired of hearing about you bragging about how you managed to leave the United States. First off, the country that you're probably in right now is probably about to kick your ass too, okay? Stop bragging about it. And second, you're, in my eyes, you're a fucking coward, because you were privileged and you had an opportunity to run away from all of the other people who are struggling alongside you. I've thought a lot about this in the last few year or so, right, where I've been presented what opportunities that I've literally managed to survive just by sheer luck and the support of my followers and my wit and my guile, and I've bounced from place to place dealing with some really stupid shit along the way. I got away from a domestic financial abuser who was fucking with my head in many ways and gaslighting me, going from that to another crazy ass roommate for 6 months in a city that I fucking hated. And then I was about to be homeless, and then now I'm here, and it's, now that I've gone through this wash, I'm just like, these people are cowards, and I'm not gonna blame somebody for leaving the country, but like, I don't want to fucking hear about it anymore. I don't want to fucking hear your fucking opinion on things, and I certainly don't want to hear somebody who left this country as a little white butt fucking coward, like a bunny rabbit or a doe, running off into the woods like a little bitch ass, right? Telling me how I should fucking feel, telling me or other trans people how we should fucking feel about the death of Charlie Kirk. Stop telling us that it was just a random shooting. This was not a random shooting, dude. Like even if the guy was trolling, this is not a random shooting. This guy was a political target. That's like saying that Duke Ferdinand was a fucking random shooting. Are you fucking insane? Are you fucking stupid? Shut the fuck up, liberal. Right? Like, seriously, go fuck yourself, right? You don't even live here anymore. You don't understand what people here are going through. And I don't give a fucking shit if you come from Utah, right? If you come from Utah, you should fucking know better, right? Your pussy ass, expat ass, running away to another country that you idolize because you probably saw it in a fucking anime, right? You know, is not the fucking flex that you think it is. All right? And I don't care how disabled you are. I don't care what your disability is. I don't care what your fucking assemblage is. I don't care how trans you are. You are telling trans people in the United States to go fuck themselves every time that you try to dismiss our concerns. Because a lot of us were scared as shit. This is not a random shooting. I'm not interested in hearing a bunch of fucking Canadians or other, you know, fucking college students. You are privileged. If you are a college student, you are fucking privileged. Somebody is paying for your ass to go and sit in a class and do and write papers. You have no fucking clue how the real world works. All right? There's a reason why there are millions of trans people who are trapped in states where they do not have any protections, and they are losing them rapidly. You have abandoned your people. Go and stuff your trans rights up your fucking ass, pieces of shit. You either go real and go home. And if you don't like the fact that I call you a poser and a weakling and somebody who's not serious about anything, then grow up and get fucking serious, because some of us actually have to live with these things, right? Some of us actually have to live with the consequences of these things. So, yeah, I don't want to fucking hear about it anymore. So, with that out of the way, I'd just like to close out by saying, you know, everybody, things are going to get really wacky soon. So keep a hold of your butts.